Redstone.
Otis, you crazy mother.
So yeah, I got a new cluster. Pretty excited about it. Today I'm going to be showing you how to put my wideband, sort of the display, in the actual cluster. I'm going to go ahead and use Sharpie to make all these dials red because I think it looks cooler. I got my one that was in the car before. It has a this RPM gauge is non-functional. I don't know why, and I actually broke this, so just bought a new one. Gonna get it ready. So essentially I just have to remove all of these Phillips heads. I think there's like 7. After all these screws have been removed, you can just sort of gently pop it out. You've got your gauge cluster. You've got the face of it. So I'll actually be doing garagistic odometer gears on this most likely, but this is the piece that has to come out for the new wideband display to go in. So that just comes out with one Phillips head, and then the little check engine, or the little check cluster thing comes out that just literally falls out. Here's what they look like. And then here's how you have to cut it. So you can see how much I cut. All I did was I took the APSX, the actual screen, and I measured how thick it was. And then I cut that plus a little bit off. You can do what I did. You have to get a piece of like headlight film. Oops. Piece of headlight film. Just a little tint. See? And then that goes in first. Don't remember which side. Don't know if you can see it. Ta-da, so I'll stick. Hold this up. See? Can't believe I almost forgot this, but you see that? You have to take out sort of a corner under that screw, just beyond the threads, so that it can fit. So you want to take maybe a chisel, maybe just a screwdriver, leave that check filter in there, and then take out just in there, so it looks like what I just showed you. There we go. So, long story short, I just took a screwdriver. Can't really see it that well, but cut out enough. Now I can slip in my headlight film. Make sure it looks good from the front. Awesome. Lastly, I take my... I'm gonna go ahead and thread this over it first. But take little APSX D1 and the wires will come to the back. So I've got that all threaded through. Now I just take my little D1, make sure that the dots on the bottom, that I can feed it in there. Okay, so you just put it in bottom first, then push it down. Careful with the connections. It's not exactly where I want it. See, it's hanging a little low, so I'm gonna have to adjust it. So with a little finagling, I got it where I was happy with it. So just make sure it's the right size one. If it's too big, you might ruin your screen. Just take my little bolt, tighten it down. Probably going to be a little tight because you destroyed that thread. But you just want to go on ahead, snug it up. Not too tight, like I said. Just this doesn't sit perfectly flush, but it doesn't really matter. And boom, you can see it in there. Install, done. Now I just take my cluster, and I have to take out this light bulb in the center here, right here between the tach and the speedo, and then thread that wire through that hole, and I can screw it back down. Okay, now obviously this is not the recommended way to do this, but I just took some electrical tape, sort of masked off the sort of plastic black spindles that the needles will sit on, and then I'll just take a red Sharpie, go along this, make them all pretty. Now, it's no professional job, but it took me 30 seconds and turned out pretty damn good, So if you're doing the odometer gears like I am, just in case, because I think these work, I don't know for sure, but essentially you just remove these 4 screws here, these little Phillips, and then the odometer will sort of fall out. You got little like clips that hold it in. So now with this free, I can give it a once over and make sure there's no burn connections on the other side, that sort of thing. That all looks good. Here are the odometer gears that I'll be replacing. You can see, I guess it didn't work, that one's broken. So next I have to remove this needle and this faceplate. It ends up just being, you take something under it, like I just use a shirt or a rag, and then you pry it up with 2 flathead screwdrivers, 1 on each side, very gently. It'll just kind of fly off, probably fly across the room. It'll be okay, just don't bend it. And then these 2 little screws come out with a flathead, and the faceplate comes off. It definitely takes some force, but as you can see, I got it off just these 2 little screwdrivers. One under the front side, one under the back side of the needle, and then you just press gently until it pops. So I just took off those 2 flathead little screws. Faceplate can come off. Now you can see I have access to the odometer and its gears. I don't know if you need to do this to do the gears, but it definitely makes it a lot easier, and if you've done it before, it's probably worth it. Because if you are trying to screw with the odometer with this faceplate on, you could bash it up or something. Okay, so we're looking pretty good so far. Now it's time to get at these odometer gears. I'll actually try to film this, but it's just these 2 Phillips. Yeah, these gears are gross. Get all that broken gear out of there. These should slide out pretty easy. Don't forget the order they go in. Okay, so I got these gears out. Now I have to get this gear off. Well, so this little brass insert that goes on this, I just took some vice grips, or not vice grips, channel locks, squeezed it a bit, not too hard, don't be stupid with it, but got it most of the way off. That can be kind of a bitch. You just sort of have to squeeze it so there's enough tolerance on each side to let it get out of there. So just deform it and it can slip off. Ta-da! So now I have my new Garageistic gears. These aren't terribly expensive. Just make sure you get the correct one. So if you have the VDO, like this one is, you need to get the VDOs, and if you have the regulars, you need to get the, or the Mo meters, you need to get the Mo meters. I actually bought the wrong one the first time, but I put it to good use. Well, with the white gear on, the cream gear goes down in the bottom of this hole and turns both of these, as you can see. Then the black gear goes on this hole and turns both of these, so when I turn it, ta-da! And then the white gears, one will go here, turn that, and the other will go on top of here. Should mesh with that one and the white gear. So as this white gear turns, these turn. Okay, so after you get these gears put on in this order, the two white ones I think are the exact same, so you just put those on, one over the white one, one over the black one. You have just this last little retainer, and the retainer will go on top of this one. You just push it on with your finger. Some of these things take a little force, but not a big deal. Push it all the way down. Make sure it still turns. Good. You're ready to put it all back together. Here's our finished product. Look at that. It looks awesome. So now we just take the faceplate, put it back on, drop it in. Oh shit. We can just drop it in. This will be a great time to do like those rings around the hubs and the tack, green tack E46 stickers and things like that, obviously, but I'm not gonna do that. So just carefully take these screws, finding the hole. Okay, here we go. Take a little flathead. You want to have a good fitting flathead. You don't want to really scratch up the surface of these, because you're looking at it every time you drive. And if you scratch, oh, if you do what I just did, you're going to see it. So after screwing it all back in, here's pretty much what we're left with. It looks like a brand new cluster. Look at that little wideband display in the console there. Just coming out the back there. This all goes back in. You run your wideband cables over to where your other connections are, pretty much. I have them by the plug and play. I'll actually switch this over with the one that was in the car just in case. I think they have like diff ratios in there or something. I'm not 100% sure. That's pretty much it, everyone. Thanks for watching this one. I'll have it in the car and I'll show you sort of what that looks like and everything pretty soon.